everybody. Welcome. Okay, so we only have a few things on the agenda today. My memory is such that I can remember the three things. The first was to review the minutes, and then we're going to talk to an individual about a subdivision. Are you that individual?
I'm that individual.
That's right.
Doug Bowen.
That's right. What's happened since then? Not much. And then,
Well, I filled out the application for the conditional use permit
awesome.
and paid the fee.
Even better. Two boxes checked.
Okay. Now I have copies here for each of you.
Perfect.
What I believe is everything that's needed.
Okay. Why don't you hand them out and we'll take a look see. Yeah, open it. Okay. Yeah.
Conditional use permit?
Well, let's figure this out.
We've got much more complicated forms than that.
You wanted one too. You bet.
Everybody have them? Hey, before we get too far, let's do the minutes really quick. Did anybody have any corrections on the minutes?
No, I recommend, make a motion that we accept the minutes as written from 4/25/2019.
I think it's 424.
Well, you got 4/25 printed on it.
What would be right there? Okay, I'll vote. Saved it. 424. Okay. We should be able to figure this out.
We got this technical, okay?
Yeah, it was the 25th.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay. Strike my four members from the record.
Can I hear a second? To the motion? Second. Yeah, there you go. All in favor? Or actually, any discussion? Good. All right, there we go. Unanimous. All right, so that was good. Sorry about that. That was a little housekeeping. Gotta do the housekeeping before the fun stuff. So then, what? So, I don't remember, do we have a separate form for a subdivision, or do they use the conditional use permit?
Just a conditional use permit, and there's section B and C, I think, here where you, may ask questions, that would relate to, where is it here? Yeah, part B, 1, 2, and 3, and, well, part C is shoreline doesn't apply. And you have the option to have those questions answered or to waive some of those questions that don't apply. And then after that, you can, generate some of your own questions and concerns to deal with how the land is going to be used.
Okay, I won't fight you on that. We may have to come back to this, but we're in a good place. Let's look through this then. Joe has the thing out, but so you're Mr. Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
You live over in Porter.
Yes.
You own the property.
Yes. There's the deed, you can copy the deed too.
Okay. We're in the rural.
Yep.
So 11. This is what we're going to do. A division of lot 10 into 3 separate buildable lots. 2.47 acres designated as lot 2. Minor subdivision.
I've got a little written description.
Yeah, you're reading my mind, my friend.
It's on, I think, about the 4th page of the conditional use permit application.
I ask why 2.47 acres if all you need is a 2-acre lot to build on? Why are you selling the .47?
Well, it just seemed to fit. I don't know how to put it. There was room for 3 lots along, there's a 650-foot frontage, I think.
Uh-huh.
But, I wanted one part as a right-of-way,
Okay,
into the woodlot.
okay.
And, I guess I just felt generous.
It's the
Actually, I
social,
staked it out, and I'm imprecise enough that I just wanted to make darn sure it was at least 2 acres.
it's the social worker gene in you.
I guess so, it rears its head again.
So I'm on exhibit 12C. Yes, so,
Where I wanted to go is we have to check about whether what defines spaghetti lot.
okay.
And that's why I was talking about the .47.
So when I look at 12C, I see the 2.47 acre lot,
Yeah,
and then on the left-hand side, 5B, lot 5B, is that the one you sold already?
yeah, exhibit 12C, that's right, yeah. The 2.5 acre lot, which I designated as lot 1, has been sold.
Lot 1.
See, oh, okay, it doesn't show on that one. It's,
Which one should we look
Shows on
at?
the drawing.
yeah, that's been
You brought
sold,
that in last time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
that.
it right there, that's right.
That one's sold. And so you only make 2, and then the rest of the land,
Well, you kinda wanna make one more and then the rest of it, right? You've already sold the 2.5 acres.
right, this is that one,
And then this rest of the lot.
because you're using the frontage. You're keeping the frontage on that last lot. Yeah.
I'm curious too, we had talked last time about looking at making it some kind of preserve or something. Did you end up looking into that or?
It's under the tree growth tax law.
Okay.
It's woodlot, yeah.
Okay, so I understand what you wanna do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will that last lot, number 3, be buildable, or it takes a lot of work?
It takes a lot of work, you gotta go back, I think it's about 1/10 of a mile, just under 1/10 of a mile, and there may be one place there. The rest of the lot is, hilly, wet, or actually clippy.
Steep, rugged ground.
Rugged ground, that's right.
Now, when you logged that, did you go out down here?
No, we went,
You went up
yeah, up the hill,
up the hill?
yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, oh gosh, what's his name, was the forester, lives on, Notch Road, blocking his name.
Jack Wadsworth?
No, it was, Moulton.
Moulton, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was the forester, and, he figured we'd go out that way, even though it was steep.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
They made it work.
I haven't walked all in through here, but I mean, my glimpse over in that direction, I thought maybe you'd come out that way.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So when did the property that you bought, I see the deed, it was September 13th, 2018, was that a part,
Oh, wait a minute, no, when I purchased the main property,
Of 2007.
it was 2007.
so what's this? This is the sale of the other one?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. What's the deed you gave us? Says warranty deed, statutory short form.
September 13th, 2018. But he said he bought it in 2013.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no, that's when he sold.
No, you sold that 12.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the deed for?
Oh, jeez. I copied the wrong deed, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a better explanation.
I think what I brought to you before had the correct deed. But unless you have it, I can't prove it. But I bought it in 2007.
So where is this deed for?
That was
We
for,
were going along so well, too.
I know.
When it,
This deed is for,
no. So I'm looking at that sheet 11. Is that on sheet 11? This one right here?
oh, jeez, you know what this is?
I don't.
It's an embarrassment in a way that this one's here. Well, I don't know if it's an embarrassment, but I was a social worker again.
Careful, there's some social workers up here at the table that make it funny.
Well, listen to me out here. There's this fellow named Brandon Clark who bought a lot right next to mine, the other way. It's part of a piece of land that was owned by a fellow named Waller.
I'm looking at this one right here.
Mhm.
So tell me which lot this deed goes to.
Okay, it goes to, okay, let me explain it, because it requires explanation.
Okay.
This Brandon Clark bought, 4 acres, that was part of Muller's land. Or Muller,
John Muller.
John Muller. Yeah. He bought that lot, and he discovered that he had put in his house so that, a corner of the house actually protruded into my lot. So, for nothing, social worker that I am, I gave him 1,632 square feet, which provided a adequate buffer to meet the town's requirements for this fellow. It still left me with plenty of room for the right of way.
So this is
I'm
a piece
why
of,
this came in, I just copied the wrong deed.
yeah, so this is a piece of lot 5 again? So this is a piece of lot 5 that you gave to,
Sure.
1,600 square feet of lot 5.
If you sold to the
I
guy
gave.
that owns
Gave.
lot 5.
I gave.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Is that new house and garage?
That new house.
I know the
Yeah.
history of this.
That's right.
What happened? Was, one of my, upside down here. Not too good.
we're at 5.
Yeah. Brandon Clark built a house right here, and somehow, corner of the house went across the line. The bank discovered it, so he quickly got a surveyor and Don gave him land like this, so he'd have the setback.
But he's already separated out lot 5 3 times.
Oh, no. Well, I might as well leave.
Because now maybe the subdivision.
Right, but it's now I think it's a major subdivision.
4 or less.
Okay.
No, it's 5 is a set,
Because 4 in here.
so
4, it could be 5.
4 is fine.
Yeah, 4 is
When you
fine.
go to 5.
Yeah, 4, yeah, that's the other, we're saying the same thing.
And the subdivision, if you, is it any breakup?
I guess I would hope that you wouldn't punish, I guess I would hope that you wouldn't punish me for making it possible for this Clark guy to be a good taxpayer for the town of Baldwin instead of the house being in some kind of legal limbo or
I think
something.
we're trying to decide if we have to decide whether we're gonna not punish you or not. If we even have to make it.
Well, we're not enforcement,
No, yeah.
so essentially,
I'll figure out.
if we take this, we have to, we would be legalizing what we've done, which I don't see any harm in doing. I don't see harm in considering legalizing what is already done.
So minor subdivisions, any subdivision containing 4 lots of dwelling units or less.
Okay.
4 lots, 4 dwelling units, so it would still meet that, right? Because it'd be 3 plus the little corner he cut off.
Yeah.
It's actually lot one that violates them. It came out after.
Right. One would be the violation.
Yeah, the little piece wasn't a violation.
So,
Oh, because it became a subdivision then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
did you have did you see if you have in the notes the prior deed?
I couldn't find it.
Okay. So,
I think we just kind of talked and he was gonna submit it as a proposal, so I didn't.
so do you know when 5A was created? Usually when there's an
Okay.
A, that means.
I bought the lot, in 2007. It was, about 52 acres. And 3 months later, John Mahler wanted to purchase, a buffer zone, basically. That was 200 feet wide, and I don't recall how long it was. It was, I think about 6 acres worth. And, I also wanted to get the cost of the purchase down a little bit.
Yeah,
So, it was within several months of the original purchase of the lot that I sold that.
5A,
Yeah,
okay. 2007-8 timeframe,
yes,
okay, that's good.
yes.
That takes it out of the equation. Okay, so.
That'd be John Miller's son, John.
So what issues do we have to deal with under the subdivision ordinance? So we have an applicant.
I guess that's the,
Sure. So an applicant has requested to divide out his property 4 times, really, but we can figure out whether it's 3 or 4. So there's a process under our code on how to do a minor subdivision. We all agree this is a minor subdivision, so there's a process that a minor subdivision has to go through, which, so I see in the subdivision ordinance, we're looking at page 10, 9. Do you have a copy of the subdivision ordinance?
Yeah, I just have the conversation.
There might be one over there. There might be another one over there. Right, the blue, yeah, that's land use.
I only saw this.
What about up in that tray thing up there, are those all land use?
Subdivision, hey, there you go.
I'm pretty sure I used that one before. So, page 9,
Yeah, and I say that because that requires a sketch plan, and we just covered an inaccuracy in the sketch plan.
okay.
So that would be great to, did Metcalf survey your land?
He surveyed, the land, but not all of it. He surveyed the boundary, that goes along the boundary of the land that I sold to John Mahler.
Okay,
From there to, the end of the lot, I think that's your land at this point in the back. He continued along. Now, he delineated the 6 acres, but I think there was a several hundred feet from there to the very back of the lot that he did not do.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was not part of the land in question that was being sold to John Muller.
It would probably be a nice idea to have that survey that he did,
That could not be procured. He long since retired,
yeah,
and, I and Butch Urumian tried several times to get that survey. And, apparently his wife said, he's not doing it, and then he's not releasing it, he's long retired, and then, I called couple more times at least, and, there was no response left in that.
that's too bad.
It is too bad.
Yeah, that's too bad. Okay. But somehow we have to do that now,
Yeah,
if we're going to be, if there's a little jigger in there that's part of the subdivision to consider. Okay. It's not a.
see, it may have been my error, is that he, Metcalf surveyed it perfectly accurately. And I tried to trace it and make sure I didn't cut trees in somebody else's land,
Yeah.
John Baller's land. And I erred by going into my land a little bit.
Conservatively, your way.
Well, and then somehow got it back to just right. I mean, I'm no expert. This was many years back. I know a little more now. But he, the purchaser of Mahler's land, Clark, thinking that was the boundary, this little quirk into my land, built his house accordingly. And then the bank discovered that,
So I wonder how the bank discovered it.
it did its own survey.
The bank did a
Yes.
survey?
The bank did a survey.
Well, I wonder if the bank would share its survey with us.
I can get it for you. I have a copy of it at home.
All right. That,
Yeah.
there you go. And then we can look at, where your 1,400, however many square feet you sold, where that differs from the survey, if it does. Or if included or something.
What actually happened when Brandon Clark went to build, there were some ties on the tree that everybody assumed that was the boundary, and that's what was meant by. And later on, the bank had hired their own survey to verify, and he verified it was wrong, and that's how it came about.
And those ties were mine, I believe.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Doug, gave him some land to make the setback correct.
So the bank survey is the other gentleman's land, or your land?
Clark's land.
Here's a place to start.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to have that survey, so that's one of the documents that we're probably gonna request is the bank survey of Clark's property. So are we considering this?
Remind you, this is about the size of this loan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it's not, it's not you. We don't tend to deal with the applicant, we deal with the idea. So,
Okay.
you presented this idea to us, we kind of have to try to follow the same basic procedure in here, so, big or small. So are we considering this a pre-application meeting? Let's consider it a pre-application meeting.
yes, we are, yes.
Article 5. So the general purpose of this pre-application meeting and eventually an on-site inspection is for the applicant to present general information regarding the proposed subdivision and receive the board's comments prior to expenditure of substantial sums of money on surveying, soils identification, and engineering by the applicant. So the procedure, The applicant shall present the pre-application sketch plan, I believe you're,
Everything's been done. It's been surveyed, the, perk test has been done by Gardner. I believe that's his name.
Do you have a survey of this then?
Yeah, it's right in, I have a copy right in your,
Oh, that's all the survey that
Yeah.
was done. Oh, okay.
survey of that lot.
Oh, okay, okay.
So then, let's see, so you did a presentation, we've done that. Sketch plan should be accompanied by a non-refundable $25, well, he gave us $150, so I can't, you really have to give another 25?
No.
Okay. All sketch plans shall be accompanied, there we go. Following the applicant's presentation, the board may ask questions and make suggestions to be incorporated by the applicant into the application. So just based on this information, one thing we'd like incorporated into the application is the bank survey. Another thing we'd like incorporated into the package is the correct.
the correct title, I'm, yeah, sorry. Can I borrow a pen?
Oh, that's a great idea, yeah.
Isn't there a $25 fee for borrowing a pen?
I don't think the bank has a survey, all they were doing is verifying what the deed,
He said.
The bank has a survey.
Yeah, he said
well,
they
he has a
it.
copy, but what they went by was footage and directions that, the deed that already existed of the plot of ground of 5A.
Perfect, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, to me, it looked like a brand new survey that
Yeah.
the bank had done.
Let's
I
take a look
get
at
it.
it.
Whichever way,
Find out what it
you
is.
know.
Fine, okay.
So, yeah, the correct deed, the bank survey, does the board see anything else that we think should be incorporated into this? I guess the deed for lot 1 would make sense to have that too.
Yeah, that's the deed we're talking about, right?
Oh, I meant the deed for the entire lot, the
Yeah,
2007.
yeah.
And then there's the deed for lot 1 that you sold off in December 2018.
Yes,
So it's 2 deeds we're
Okay.
looking for. I think that makes sense to have it, because it's kind of part of the package.
yeah.
And then do you have a description of the 2 remaining parcels, 2 and what I'll call 3, which is the remnant? Do you have already descriptions of those made up? Legal description?
Well, there's a legal description of the one that I sold.
Correct.
Yeah, that goes with the deed.
But now so I'm seeing a couple different deeds here. So you have the deed of the entire
Yep.
lot 5. You have the deed of lot 1
Yes.
that you sold off. You have the deed of the 1,200 and change
Square feet.
square feet you
Which is
sold off.
what's in here.
Which is what's in there.
Yeah,
So then, if you get this approved, you're also gonna have a deed with a legal description to lot 2 that you're going to sell if you can get a subdivision, right?
but isn't that only come upon the sale?
It does, but what I'm just thinking out loud is, if we approve this subdivision, you've specified a particular size lot
Yeah.
in a particular area. So I didn't know if you had already created that document or not, but, no, okay.
No, I didn't for the first parcel that I sold in December 2018. We relied on the surveyor's,
Description,
description,
yeah,
which is totally accurate, is what the deed relied on.
okay.
Yeah.
So, anything else that the board can think that we might need, as part of this application?
Something I'd be curious about giving Doug some assurances on, is a general conversation about what we might consider waiving for? How much of this, because do we want to have this placed on a topo map, for instance? How about the county soil survey?
You also ask for existing subdivisions in the proximity of proposed subdivisions.
Yeah, there's one within 5 miles.
You know, well, you may know this better than I do. The other end of Rocky Dun, my end of Rocky Dun Road, you remember back in the 70s, mid to late 70s, there was this whole thing about affordable housing, and that area was chopped up, and those lots were affordable housing. You don't remember? It was crazy, and I mean, I wasn't living here at the time, but I remember it from the time that
Was that before Mold's come in and bought that place? Must have been.
I think John Mueller was already there, but I'm not sure.
Who was I before Mold? You remember?
I recall briefly of something about town should adopt an ordinance or a plan, so they have an area in town set aside for affordable housing, but I don't think it ever matured.
Well, those houses there's a trailer and there's 2 trailers and so forth. Those were built as affordable housing.
Okay.
And the town was involved, but I just can't recall.
Foreclosed on and sold.
There was one piece of property, and it was divided up. You're asking about a subdivision. I'm trying to answer that question, but it may predate the subdivision ordinance. Yeah.
There's some fees they crossed out here, $300 per lot, or acre, whichever is greater, payable to the municipality. Applicant shall pay a fee of $10,000 per lot or acre to be deposited in the special.
Is that for minor or major?
That's a major. That's a major, not a minor.
No, it's minor.
Is it?
Yeah. I just pulled this up on the
Article
town's
6.
website.
Minor subdivision.
Well, see, when you pull it up from the town's website, $25 is crossed out and
changed it.
written at 300, and 100 is crossed out and written as 10,000.
We're down here.
Right there, yeah. 10K.
Just had a quick mind.
When did that happen? Because that would shoot this down entirely.
Yeah. It would.
Yeah.
So
If this is the case,
where it says $100.
might as well finish this up right now.
Yeah,
$300.
which I know we did change fees. I don't remember 10K. Which town meeting was it? Because that's what should be in here is a note on what town meeting it was done.
Well, I'll come back in 5 years,
On that one.
when I'm next legally able to sell it. Maybe I won't have to come here. I can do it just like the other lots.
Yeah,
Can I put just on a clarifying note?
Yeah.
So I'm really just trying to understand what we're doing here procedurally. I mean, to me, there's a violation, no matter how technical I think it is, for the sale of lot 1 in December of 2018. And that's a subdivision violation. In my mind, that should be dealt with first before we begin to proceed on that.
Yeah.
I'm leaving, and actually what I would request is a refund of $150 because you did not have the proper information. But I don't expect it, it's just a request. Thank you. Oh, your pen.
That's an 88-cent pen.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
So, do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This is the one.
wanna make sure I didn't look something and
It
try
is,
to
now you
comprehend all the
can-
math and the language and all that.
We can't, consider an application from somebody who is in violation. We've established he's in violation, and Sue was saying, why are we considering it? And
Until we deal with that first, I mean, you might want to, there might be some procedure for forgiving it, or figuring it out, but you have to deal with that first.
Because it's been a subdivision since he sold lot 1 in 2018.
In December of 2018, that was the second lot that came out.
Well, he formed the second lot, but it's because he's owner, it can be considered all his land as all one lot. And so,
And we hadn't confirmed that it was a violation.
it's the same as he owns another lot, but he owns the second lot,
We need that.
which is to a relative, and he's own relative thing. So,
The relative is the one with the tiny piece of land, the 1,000 feet,
No,
1,000 square feet.
here's the deal.
okay.
He bought the land in 2007. He gave away 1,632 feet on September 13th of 2018. So
Not to
that,
a relative.
right, no,
To the
exactly,
neighbor,
that
to the
was to the neighbor.
Okay.
and you can do that without it being a subdivision.
Right,
Did we
But-
have that in here? And,
because that's this deed here. Okay, then,
that's not, I just wanted,
I think it's in
that's not
here.
the violation, but
Yeah.
then in
No, right.
December,
That set up the violation.
that's what I'm saying, unless you're saying that first one out doesn't count.
the first one out doesn't
But
count.
I just wanna know where it says in here that it doesn't count.
Good point.
You might be saying the same thing.
Cause it's great if it doesn't count, cause then we have a problem.
But I think where the violation occurred, Sue,
You're saying
you're
the same
right,
thing.
is
Yeah.
when he sold the lot. He was thinking, oh, that's the first lot I sold, but it was actually the second division of his property,
Right, that's what Sue said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes it a subdivision.
But it doesn't, because you can sell your land to a neighbor without it coming under the subdivision
As
rules.
a first,
Yeah,
as a
because
first.
part of the-
So it doesn't count
If
as
you
the first
sit-
lot.
Well, if you, so there's, Joe's trying to find it, if you sell land to an abutter, it doesn't count against you for the subdivision.
Ah, okay.
That's great, let's just, if we find where
That's
there
right.
is, and
Yeah.
I'll know that, no.
That's right.
See, you're so literal.
No,
what are you
but-
doing?
Yeah.
Make sure it goes the right way.
But when he sold lot 1, that would create the subdivision,
Only if that first little piece didn't count,
right?
or if it, only if
Well, if
this
it
one
did
did count, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We all know the question, now we have fun.
That's where, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so, page 6,
Yeah, that's where I'm looking.
going over to the top of page 7, the division of the tract or parcel is otherwise exempt under this definition. A division accomplished by divine combination, order of court, gift to a person related to the donor by blood, marriage or adoption, or a gift to a municipality, or by transfer of any interest in land to the owner of the land abutting.
We really scared him off then.
You think I did it?
He ran away. Hey, we got rid of that subdivision.
I just wanted to.
No, you're exactly right, yeah.
Before we go down.
It's very scary for people out there,
Yeah.
and they don't realize what we're kind of fumbling our way through. We're not professionals, you
Well,
know.
right, because David made us sign off on an email thing, so we know that's.
Right.
It's so counterintuitive, isn't it?
It is counterintuitive, but I get it. All right, well, that's good.
Yeah, and I was gonna hold that in abeyance for a little bit to figure out if we had other major issues before we track that down. But yeah, no,
Sorry,
that was
derail
in
you
the back,
then.
no, it didn't derail me. I'm trying to figure out when we change the cost.
Yeah, that is that's actually scary. to
Change
think.
value,
Per,
That might have been what
per
it was,
lot.
you know.
Just kills it, right
I'm
there.
pretty sure that's what scared Mark.
That's what, that's what killed it.
So we must have somebody can access the records of the town meeting when we did that?
Well, that's
Or
what I'm
would-
looking for right
Or
now.
would it have been a town meeting, or would it have been?
Yeah.
It had to have been a town meeting, we can't do that.
I just looked at 2014 and 15 and didn't see it.
Powerful is. It was more recent than that.
17 didn't come up, so.
It sounds like there would have been a lot of discussion at town meeting about that, that's a
No.
lot of money.
No? Sometimes
You never know when there's a lot of
that just
discussion.
happens.
Right, someone can't wait to, make a motion and get it seconded.
Most of the people in town don't care about the subdivision ordinance, they're never.
Until it affects them.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, exactly, but they don't own a large enough piece of land to be subdivided.
Matt, you're sucking all the bandwidth. I can't even get to the webpage anymore.
No, we don't refund anything.
What?
No, we don't refund anything.
What is it? No, I know exactly what it looks like my handwriting, too.
What about further down, anything else on that page?
No.
Additional
No, I
numbers?
remember us doing
I
it.
remember us working on these numbers, but.
That must have been before my time.
No,
I
I
should
think
give
it was,
them-
I think it was when you were off, so.
Uh,
I think it was that time you were.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah,
dark period.
down here for major subdivision, the 50 was changed to 15,000. And the 25 per lot was changed to change to max 15K or something like that. Here.
I mean, was there something that sort of precipitated that? Did we have an event where we had to shell out a lot of money and we didn't get it back from the applicant, or?
There was a discussion about how we don't want to have the lowest fees in the area, and we should be comparable to Standish.
And do they charge 10,000?
Apparently, that's
Or
what we got the
that's
numbers.
it's just to be put into an account for expenses. Right, so the applicant gets it back if you don't spend it all, or.
That's what it seems to say.
Yeah, it's drawn
It's drawn
down.
down, yeah. Kind of unclear in there, that's what it sounds like.
That says recharged,
You mean,
recharged to max of 15K.
Okay, I can't even get out of the website anymore.
And then we're like, you're in violation, and he would have had to pay 10,000 per lot, I'd walk out the door too.
Can we reach out to him, so he can come back?
He can also watch the video.
I don't know why I can't access the website anymore.
Well, here's another one.
Yeah, let me try.
Do you want me to try too, so we can draw down one?
Let's try. Okay, Chrome here.
I don't think I'm even on the towns.
I'm on cellular, but I can't even get the, I was checking this.
Oh, no, I am on town hall, but,
You on their website?
I'm using their Wi-Fi.
The real screen.
I wonder, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I would,
Go to.
see, I don't see us, in the case of Doug Bowen, hiring independent consulting services, which is what the money is for.
We can waive anything we want in there.
Right, right.
So I was just bringing it up as something that we wanted to waive. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, I heard what you said. That's exactly what you did.
Yeah, but he heard us talking about $10,000, and we heard us talking about him already being in violation, and I'm sure he.
Yeah.
I don't blame him, I would walk out there.
It's like I say, out there, you're scared of us.
You're confident in that, right?
$2,000 is a lot of money if I think I already owe it.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I don't know, we try so hard and we continue to defile our reputation.
I think we do a good job of doing that.
Well, it's hard when you're having a conversation here for like the first time in front of everybody, and
Yeah.
so what do you do?
So should we give him a call? Does somebody have his telephone number?
Well, let's just wait a second.
Yeah, I just was wondering, what is procedure on that? Do people have to actually be here in person to get the information? Or do we send things out by mail, or? when they submit an application?
We don't tend to, we say we do we do our business when we're here. So if somebody walks out, they walk out. We never had anybody walk out here.
Oh, yeah, we did. We had that guy with the,
Just take a chair on board.
yeah, the guy with the mustache.
Well, we did have that guy walk out too, the wire guy.
Something I don't think we covered is, he has a deed for subdivision lot 1, deed for subdivision lot 2. That means his mother lot has changed boundaries along the back side of these 1 and 2 and the little sliver. So his deed for the remaining portion of the mother lot has to be written up to identify those changed boundaries to the front edge.
Right.
He doesn't have a deed for lot 2. All he has,
Yeah,
all he has is this, boundary drawing.
yeah, which probably.
But, so, we've got right now in our possession this deed for this little piece of
Yeah.
1,632 square feet. What we've asked for was the deed for what he sold in
Yeah.
December of 18, and the deed for his original property.
Okay.
What's left?
So do we know where that little piece
Which
is?
all means to say there doesn't have to say
No, that's what I was trying to get is survey.
redefine these angles and distances.
Well, because he put in the little 5A.
Or the description.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Does somebody want
Is his phone number on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, 625-3302.
Do you mind if I give him a call?
No,
Say,
go ahead.
you ran out too soon.
Yeah.
You thought we were smart. Knew what we were doing.
There it is. No building. It didn't happen while, I don't remember ever talking about it.
Hello, Diane? Yeah, Joe Pierce here, how are you? So Doug left our planning board meeting too soon. Before we figured out that we can probably move ahead with what he wants to do. And so, tell him to come back to us at some point, or, make an appointment to come back. That, we were working our way through the problem, and all he saw was the problem, I guess, and not realizing that we're fallible human beings and we make mistakes, but we work our way through them. So, all is forgiven, come back. Okay. Sure then, thanks. Bye.
Next, they said. We forgot to tell them it was all Sue's fault.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It
I
was
was
a good
wondering if we were gonna
question.
get to that too.
So
Wait.
I saw something in the minutes about the motorcycle or whatever it is, the,
Yeah, water, yeah.
was he supposed to be here tonight?
No.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. So we're thinking that the 1,250 feet sale is a sale to an abutter, thus does not trigger a separation for the purpose of the subdivision ordinance.
Yep.
so he's not in violation, at least so far, that we can see.
Yep.
So then the second question is, when we get into, the ordinance, subdivision ordinance, there's a question about the fees, the cost. Dwight, can you ask Danielle to identify or whomever would be responsible in the town office to see if they can find the town meeting where the subdivision ordinance fees were changed? And if we could get a copy of that town meeting, just so we're comfortable, because it's quite a bit of money.
It seems to be pretty,
I think we'll probably end up waiving those fees anyway.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, because what we should do is, once we find that out, Dwight, we should have somebody write on the subdivision ordinance that's online when those were changed, so we don't have the same concern in the future.
Good point.
Because that looks like my handwriting, so,
Does that need to be changed on the application? So if somebody gets an application, do we have?
well, there isn't a subdivision application.
well, that's.
Oh,
It might be easier if I did that. Because all it means is looking through 3 or 4 years worth of town reports.
Okay, if Joe wants to take, I mean, you guys can both, I mean, whoever gets to it first.
Oh, well, then I'll leave it to them.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not competing with anybody.
But if you could just have him send it to me or to Joe or to whomever, and just, so we can close that loop. So then the next step with this gentleman's application is, we do want the different deeds that are already in existence and that bank thing. And then,
I mean, do we wait till, like, I don't even know, did we add this up, like, he has to withdraw his application and he walked out. Like, yes, we invited him back.
We didn't hear that.
I'm not accepting his request until we have another conversation.
Okay,
I
good.
don't think I heard that.
Well, it's on video, so.
Yeah, but I don't think we should accept that withdrawal.
Okay, good.
I think we made him nervous, because of our thinking verbally, and.
Now when I wanna follow procedure for the guy who walked out. No, okay, I agree, I do agree.
And so I think what we should, given the size and scope of his, project, I don't see a lot of costs associated to it, so we may be able to waive, that submission,
Yeah.
and we may be able to waive, I think we should all spend some time looking at the subdivision, ordinance. It's not something we deal with very often, so I think it would behoove us to read it a little bit, to feel comfortable if in fact we can waive these, or if they're non-waivable. If they're non-waivable, then we can't waive them, but.
We're not dealing with a subdivision that needs roads, and you have to deal with drainage and ecology and
It doesn't appear so.
Yeah.
But if it's mandatory, it's not really up to us.
Okay.
So
I'm not aware of it's mandatory.
yeah, that's what we gotta feel comfortable with. I think this is
Right.
it's a great opportunity for us to at least become familiar with it. It's been probably 12 years since we
Well,
really did anything.
3 of us have never been part of that.
Yeah.
Good, goodbye.
And if I was, I forgot. I don't know if I was on the board during Firefly. I don't think I was. I can't remember.
No.
But,
It wasn't terrible. It was memorable.
yeah. So if Mr. Bowen would come back, that would be awesome, because I think we could work with what he's doing. I think he confused, procedural confusion with concern, and so I think maybe we can work through that stuff. So let's table the rest of the discussion about that until Mr. Bowen comes back.
So really, we're tabling because we decided that this was the pre-application meeting.
So
We're going to table that.
Table the pre-application meeting to when he comes back. He may never come back, but,
Do we need a motion to do that, or can we just do that?
It's actually surprising, I didn't think he was that type of person. Get hot and walk off.
I'll hear a motion to table the pre-application
I'll make a motion.
Second. Discussion. So I don't believe we need a date certain, so we'll leave it open. We'll revisit this in 3 meetings. If it hasn't come back around, then maybe we'll vote to accept his withdrawal. I don't want this just to stay here for indefinitely, so. All those in favor? Good to go? I didn't have anything else to discuss tonight. Joe, you were vice chairman by unanimous,
Well, with the condition that you had to be here to accept it.
but we made conditional that you would agree to the position, because I know you're trying to focus yourself on family, run deep instead of far. But would you be willing to accept that responsibility?
Barely.
Okay.
I would ask, since I have the floor at this point, with people actually interested in what I'm saying, I would ask that you go out of your way to keep me informed of any approaches to you outside of the board meeting. I know people coming to the chair, and they're going to come. And I like to be, since you sometimes aren't here. I want to be vaguely aware of what's going on.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay. And I've been trying to be pretty rigid about getting on the agenda, publishing the agenda beforehand. So I think that's really helpful, frankly, to know what you're walking in. And I also act as a bit of a buffer. If it's not agenda worthy, I don't put it on, but you want to know those things that may not be agenda worthy but are out there. That's fair.
I'd also just like to put forth a counter argument. I like the agenda.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing, and it's helped organize us. I used to have the attitude, I think the board had the attitude of, we're here for the townspeople of Alden to walk through that door anytime and talk to us about any of their concerns.
And if that, the problem with that is that we have a bunch of things pending, and it was becoming a problem that we were having disaggregating discussions that were causing confusion to me. So I wanted to clean the process up, but that doesn't preclude somebody from coming in. It just precludes it from being too substantive, I think.
So, in other words, if somebody wants to come in for an initial discussion or just a kind of talk to us discussion,
I don't have a huge problem.
not a problem. If they're coming in having already done that, then they need to be on the agenda.
Agreed.
Well, and if they're coming in, they probably need to wait. Like my assumption would be they would wait till they do the items that are actually on.
I think that the key there with what you've been doing is not to block people, but it's been more to make sure that if somebody's coming in to talk to us and they owed us any documents, if they haven't submitted the documents, then they don't get on the agenda.
I mean,
That's
that's been the primary issue, but the CEO tends to tell me who's been coming in, who has things that may be percolating up, and he's been a bit of a gatekeeper in saying, I told this person they need to get everything complete before they come to a meeting. So he tends to tell me that, and then I'll look at what's right for discussion and put that on the agenda.
Yeah, it's my part of my job description to sort of weed out the people and get them prepared and onto the agenda.
Right.
So is that in your, you make a bi-monthly report or something, or is that just separate communication?
To me or to the selectmen? So he sends me an email
Yeah.
whenever there's something interesting.
Oh, okay, all right.
Most people here in town, the selectmen, Diane, or they approach me and say, I have this issue, I wanna come before the planning board. I say, okay, you have to come before me and get our information lined up and get prepared. Then I will get you on the agenda, and then I email David and let him know so-and-so,
Right.
can we schedule so-and-so for the next meeting?
Right, but Joe's right too, I mean, if somebody wants just to come in and say, hey, I've got this idea, I've got this issue, that's fine, but we can only go so far if we don't know that they're gonna be here, and we don't, you know.
So you
Yeah,
stopped
that's
producing
true, I've done
reports.
that with Cornish, I've had people come in just to talk to the planning board, so the planning board could weigh it, that, you know, is this something the planning board needs to handle, or is it, how serious is it, or is it not serious, so that's what happened.
Did you do reports before? There's a reports online?
There was, but he said, it says here, the CEO will no longer be producing reports.
Why aren't you doing that?
Because in 2.5 years, I typed up 300 pages, and I got tired of doing it.
Okay. Well, you're not
Every
not our
like
employees, so it's up to the selectmen.
We see a time card from him, every 2 weeks, and everything he does is on the time card. So I get an idea of something that's
Yeah,
going on.
I try to come to most of the select meetings so I can chirp in a little bit and say, hey, this is going on, or I heard about that, so there is a communication.
Yeah, that's up to them, that's up to them. It's up to them. So, no, I agree, Joe, I just, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Oh, yeah,
you
no,
know?
I
But it's
understand,
just
just trying to.
clarification, because I would have thought if I wanted to bring something, I don't know that I would get on the agenda.
You should,
Well,
you should, yeah. And it's a nice deadline to get people to get things in,
So you say Monday, you gotta get on the agenda by Monday?
close the business Monday, yeah.
Okay.
Just, it's a nice deadline.
We have a policy.
I think there is actually a
We're growing
policy.
up.
I think there actually is in the bylaws, but, yeah, I don't have anything else. Is there anything from the selectmen that they want the planning board to consider?
So I think it's quiet right now.
Excellent.
Our solar thing is pretty much faded, but we've got another request. So and I don't know when that's going right yet, but another company's called. Like I've told, everybody that I've worked with is, when I was working, we was doing windmill projects and stuff like that, there was usually 8 or 10 bidders trying to do one project.
Right.
So I expect to see that stuff.
You mean somebody called on the same parcel of land?
No, they're looking for land in the town and stuff.
Oh, this is about, whether you were gonna lease it to the solar farm or not, just the town land.
Yeah, but now somebody else has called and looking for, a large parcel of land, it isn't the wind people that,
And what's that for?
Same
Also
basic
solar-
idea.
solar panels.
Just different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But a different solar panel?
Yeah,
Are they looking for, tax credits or anything like that?
they haven't got that far yet.
Okay. That's what I would think they'd be looking for, the tax credits but, CEO, do you have anything for us?
No,
Okay,
things
excellent,
are quiet on the Western Front.
excellent. Yeah, I don't know what else is.
That thought that fellow Reynolds who was about skimming, he was supposed to meet last week, but he got sick, so I haven't scheduled him, so he may not, I'll find out if he'll be prepared enough for the 23rd or whatever the meeting, bump him into June.
Snow skimming or whatever that was like.
Water
Sporting, no, it's not skimming. It's
waterboarding.
What, no, water, it's in our minutes, I don't remember. Water something, it was not skimming.
Watercraft.
Watercraft, that was it, yeah. Good job.
So I tried to find some more information about that from the Plaxville. And, they have some pretty strict rules in Plaxville. It's interesting. The campground who organizes it has pretty strict rules. Interesting group of people.
It's a people handling problem.
It it's a mass gathering problem,
Yeah.
but it's not a problem, it's just a
I looked up on
challenge.
the internet, the state has a lot on it, but it's for crowds of 2,000 more, but what they have is a good guideline to stitch pieces out.
Yeah. All right, well, gosh, I feel really bad, don't you guys? They just walked out, I feel bad, I hope he comes back, but, I don't think I have anything else, nobody else has anything else, entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved and seconded, all right, we're good to go.
We're a team there.